All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA Podcast. My name is Keith Parrish, and I'm here once again with my buddy through the miracle of computer phone, here with Dave DeFore. On the other side of the country, Dave, how are you doing?
Other side of the country?
You're
in the middle.
I'm not in the middle.
Oh,
Nashville, Tennessee is nowhere close to the middle.
It's much closer to the middle than to the coast.
That might be fair. I don't know. The middle is like, I would say 9 to 10 hours away.
Side of the country.
And because Oklahoma City is roughly the middle, that's a full 10 hours, I think.
The
coast is also 10 hours away.
For me.
Nashville might be, I have no way to figure this out. I'm not using Google Maps. I think Nashville might be equidistant from the coast as it is the middle. You're using.
Let me ask you.
You are using the classic flyover elitism.
Oh,
you live on a coast, and you're like everything that's not on either coast in the middle.
Middle of the country is somewhere between Oklahoma City and what? Little Rock.
I would think it would drift west. This might be worth throwing. I would think Oklahoma City or somewhere to the west. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, it could be. It's roughly Oklahoma City, and you're closer to Oklahoma City.
If you're not on the coast, you're in the middle. Dave DeFore.
Right. Hey, listen, I'm from Richmond, Virginia, on the East Coast. I am one of these coastal elites.
You are. Coastal elite. I don't think that includes Virginia. I'm going to tell you right now. I will tell you,
living in the middle.
That does not include Virginia.
Listen, are we using the 300, 400-year-old definition of that? In which case,
yeah. Let's not get into that. I do have a question. I do have a non-basketball thing to start the show with, just because I wanted input on this. We have an important show today, hopefully not too lengthy. We get to do our Western Conference butter or Parkay previews. Always very fun, always very exciting. Before we get to it, I have a question for you, Dave, a dog owner.
Oh,
I consider you to be a prominent dog owner. And you're, I assume, taking your dog out for lots of walks all the time. Like you seem, I know how much you love walking and how much you love your dog. So I assume you're one of these, a very responsible, good dog owner, lots of dog walking. I have a question about the apparel of dog walkers. And this might not be a specific dog walking apparel, but there's this thing I see men wearing, and they're always walking a dog when they're wearing. It's like a tactical vest. And I don't know if this is just like a jogger vest. It has like water. Does it have supplies? Does it have food? Is there like iPhone in there? But I've only seen people with dogs doing it, and it makes me scared every time I see it because I think it's like a weapons vest. I think it's like a Kevlar.
Is it a ruck vest?
I don't know.
But it's again back to Nashville.
Yeah, this could just be a really horrible Nashville
rucking
thing.
Is one of these things that has become popular as like a form of it's not just cardio, it's also virtue signaling.
Okay.
So I imagine you probably see a lot of weird tactical vests out there.
So, but also, are there like weights in the vest to make it harder to walk? Okay. So I'm seeing these vests where I'm like, is this person, do they have like their ammo? Wait, they're just walking a dog. And you're like, that thing has like a straw coming out of it. What is this gray vest? Or what is this olive green vest? And it drives me nuts. So it's nothing to do with dogs.
No, it's more like hiking.
Okay.
But it's hiking, but dangerous.
Yeah, into the bougie Nashville suburbs.
I want to go hiking.
I'm telling you, I only see no women, no people without dogs. It's only guys with dogs that have these giant vests totally on. Fine. Okay,
it's the culture part of it. I don't know, man. Just go to the gym, bro.
Thanks for clearing that up for me. Dave, we got to get into things. Yes.
I carry accoutrements for my dog, but I have a big dog, and when it's hot outside,
what does this mean?
Carry water.
Okay.
Like I have this like water bottle, and and I'm a fanny pack guy anyway, so I've always got stuff.
Okay. So. We got to get into it. We got to get into the basketball. Before we do, Dave, let's do our breakfasts, brief as they have been. What's a breakfast that you have had?
Well,
to kick this off,
after getting roasted after last week's show, people not into
The Patreon Slack was just really down on your dates and pumpkin oatmeal and things.
Yeah. Well, it's not even dates and pumpkins.
It's one or the other, of course. But please, no more.
But anyway, so I decided I would take the opportunity. Let me branch out a little bit. I'll try some new stuff. So this morning, I had a banana, and I also picked up, various just like quick and easy breakfast things. And I was like, okay, this stuff is supposed to be fake healthy. Let me try it.
Right.
I got these protein waffles that were like blueberry,
individually wrapped.
Yeah,
or protein waffle.
It's like Eggo, but it's not Eggo. It's some other brand. It's got a bear on it again, so it's for men.
That's right.
And so and they were pretty good. Not as much protein as I wish was in them, but they weren't bad. Keith, I put a little bit of this. I've got some bourbon maple syrup, and I used a little bit of that, and
there you go.
not bad.
Yeah, I like the fake healthy blueberry waffle thing with
11
syrup.
grams of fat.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't gonna have this.
Dave, I also had a fake healthy thing for what would I guess be called my breakfast. I picked up one of these, like, it's not a protein bar, but it's these like individually wrapped breakfast things that, there's so many of these that are like just 4 ingredients. Yeah. It's like, it's just an egg and a little pomegranate and an almond and wheat. Or it's just there's like just 4 ingredients, just 6 ingredients. This one literally said, and I quote, just 6 ingredients: chocolate chip cookie dough. Like, I didn't say what the 6 were, but it was a chocolate chip cookie dough flavored, is it breakfast bar, a protein bar, snack bar? Yeah. But it was like just 6 ingredients, so it's healthy. Chocolate chip cookie dough. And I was like, oh yeah, bang. I'm grabbing that one.
Sugar, flour, chocolate chips. What are the other 3?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It was great. Yeah, egg, probably. It was
there's definitely some egg in there.
It was really good. I don't pretend it was healthy. Listen, if your cookies only have the fewer ingredients, the better, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I would assume so.
That's the idea. So anyways, big cookie guy. That was my breakfast. That was your breakfast. After our breakfast, we moved to our breakfast in bed. Apologies. This is our chance to make right what we got wrong on any previous episode. It's frequently the first time we talk about the NBA, and it will be today. I'll say a couple things from last episode in the Eastern Conference Butter or Parkay. First of all, we intended to speak on the Warriors signing Jonathan Kuminga. Just blew right through it. Well, we'll get to some of that today as we hit the Warriors. Also, I feel like we had a very inconsistent application of the formula we use for the Butter or Parkay previews. Ooh. And now I feel like I have to go back and listen to years of past episodes to feel like if we've always been inconsistent or I've always been inconsistent. Like the way we judge these teams when it dealt with injuries. Yeah. Some teams we were like, oh yeah, no Halliburton, they're worse. But then we were like, well, the Bucks, they lost Damian Lillard last year. So I do feel like we were slightly inconsistent on some of that. And now I feel actually unmoored, as if I don't even know the system that I created for myself on this. Like, do we count the catastrophic injuries that occurred last year? Because then I think it throws people off, but hopefully we won't have too many hiccups. It was just like the Jason Tatum. Is that a last year or off season or the?
That's an off season.
The Halliburton, so the Damian. Damian Lillard got stretched in the off season, so we can count him. I don't know. So
it should be the season that the injury actually affects, which is this one, right? So
All right. So those are our apologies. Before we get into all of the rest of the show, I do want to remind all the Patreon supporters that our fantasy basketball drafts are imminent. They are nigh. We have one of the leagues drafting this Sunday. The other, I think we're going to have 2 head-to-head leagues. The other one is going to be the following Saturday. So you're running out of time if you want to play fantasy basketball with me and other listeners. Also, of course, the Negative Fantasy League, the world famous International Stackhouse of Pancakes Negative Fantasy League. Last year, there were 40 teams. This year, I hope to have 50. The draft is going to be on Saturday, October 18th. Even if you can't make the live draft, don't worry about it. It's a snake draft and no one knows what they're doing. So you can still win the league, or you can come in second to me, even if you aren't at the draft. So if you want to play in the Negative Fantasy League and also join the listener Slack and also get access to bonus episodes, all of that, patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. And current patrons, again, go ahead and sign up. Go over to patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. Fill out the form if you haven't yet. We want everybody to play fantasy basketball who wants to get in there. We don't want you to be left out. So make sure you do that. All right, Dave. Before the steak and eggs things, before the butter parquet, do you have any steak and eggs best things? Any cream of wheat worst things? Any observations from the start of preseason? Any thoughts on LeBron's latest marketing gimmick? What's on your mind?
Oh my God, man. Yeah, Keith, when stuff happens in the NBA, do you get random texts? Like when it's like, oh, this might be a big deal.
This broke through to casual,
man,
non-sports people. And
I'm like, it's LeBron. Do you think he's going to do this today? Or do you think we would have known about it going into training? Come on, man. I saw someone describe this. I think it was someone at The Athletic. Go and read the article. Described it as the cringiest thing he's ever done. It's maybe not even close. He does cringy, corny stuff all of the time. And we live in a time where nothing is sacred, and like, not that the decision is like this sacred event, but it's kind of a big deal.
Right.
And like, we just play with everything now. So, silly, man. Like
it wasn't The Athletic, but I can recommend at least Candace Buckner in the Washington Post wrote a very solid LeBron, this is beyond embarrassing.
Literally.
Like what are you doing with your legacy? You're a billionaire. Like,
yeah.
Why? So yeah,
never enough money, Keith.
Also, this is kind of funny. I saw this on NBA.com. The NBA is introducing new stats this year, so that piques my interest. I'm like, okay. What new stats? This article, which I think was written by a human, and not. Oh, it was written. This is from The Athletic. Okay, all right. I won't cast.
And it's on the NBA website.
Yeah. Yes, it is. But I won't cast aspersions. But there's a new gravity metric that the league is going to debut.
Oh, yeah.
All of this is because of tracking data, Amazon Web Services, all this stuff. This quote, though, from the article, this makes me feel like I'm being introduced to a multi-level marketing scheme, or being asked to invest in is this something that, like, is this tranches? What is this from the, like this was like
Amway?
The thing. Yeah, this was like a, it's, it said, oh man. Here we go. This new stat, it will look closely at how players are defended, the attention they receive, and how much space they create for others. It will not be any raw number, but will be used as a contextualized stat that can be used to compare players to one another. Quote, there's a lot of trigonometry involved, end quote. Charles Roheath says. He noted this gravity stat also won't be ready when the season begins.
Yes.
This sounds like, please open your checkbooks. We have very exciting investment opportunities for this new product that's not going to be available immediately. But there's a lot of trigonometry involved. So I immediately dubious of the unveiling of the new stats, which are not ready.
I've got some breaking news for you, Keith. I've been actually in talks with the NBA about the doof model.
We got to bring in the doof. We've been talking for years about the doof model.
My proprietary model for choosing winners.
The doof model is so close. I feel like another round of funding.
That's it. That's what would
get us over the top.
Keith, we only need 10 million.
I'm prepared to provide a valuation of the doof model. I'd like to buy 5% at $500,000. So let's just see.
Fair.
Anyways, I feel like I'm always being sold something now. I was like, oh, new stats. What are they? And then it's like, quote, there's a lot of trigonometry involved. It's not quite ready yet. Yeah. It's like, maybe hold off on the article. I guess you got on my click.
We had this statistical renaissance where it did feel like we kind of won. And I actually think now we're going into a phase where, and I think that this is where the sport ought to go.
Yeah.
We got a lot more people just talking about watching basketball now, rather than trying to be like talking, PER. Shout out to John Hollinger.
Yeah.
But, and I think that's better. And stuff like this is why.
Well, they said they are one of the ones they're going to introduce is like, I don't know if it's an all-in-one metric, but they're going to come up with a defensive just system. Is this for our defensive fantasy leagues?
Sure.
I don't know. I think there's going to be a defensive number Hopefully Tumani
Kamara
can lead in it. Anyways, Dave, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back and we will preview the Western Conference. All right, Dave, the butter or Parkay previews. What we do is we look at every fan base, every team, every front office, and we look at their enthusiasm. Because usually every single squad, as I always say, comes into the year thinking we got better. We made improvements. So what we do, we look at the actual roster moves they made. We might consider other factors like internal development, a coaching hire, maybe the subtraction of someone who was negative to the overall team energy. And we say, are you in fact better, which we call butter? Or do we say, are your dreams of being better, are they not real? Are they not better or not butter, which is Parkay? We say, are your improvements a weak imitation? And the standard we use, and even if I did get confused on trying to figure out where season-long injuries get tabulated, we just basically say at the end of last year, post-trade deadline, is that team better or worse than this year's team? Or, is this year's team going into the season, do we think you've done a good job of improving the roster? So we will go alphabetically, and we will start with the Dallas Mavericks. And the Mavericks are, I think, a tough one maybe in your minds to think about because you still consider maybe Luka Doncic being on the team, but that's not the consideration we use. We're talking about the post-Luka trade Mavericks. And so I think when you do that, when you set up that scenario, I don't think it's very confusing. It's just Spencer Dinwiddie's gone. To replace him, you got D'Angelo Russell. Oh, and by the way, you drafted Cooper Flagg. Easy butter?
Butter.
Yeah, easy butter.
By the way, big takeaway or quick takeaways. Cooper Flagg looks good.
Yeah, a little preseason, a little couple games.
Looks good. Looks really smooth.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of Jason Tatum to his game.
That is what I want to say. I can't remember if it was Owen Phillips on our show. I think where he was like, he thought he was supposed to be more of like an Andre Karolinko.
Yeah.
With scoring. And in the two summer league games he played, he got more of a Jason Tatum vibe of like, just kind of shooting, not as much the other defensive stuff, but he has, I think, in a couple preseason games done some of that defensive stuff. Shot blocks. And he, I'll say the Mavs, when we talk about how good they are, that is confusing. For this exercise of butter or Parkay, not confusing because like this team, I don't think I'm not going on a limb here. They're not as good as they were when they had Luka Doncic, but when I start stacking up the depth chart, yes, they have a lot of issues with their lack of guards and maybe depending too much on Brandon Williams, but like there are 12 guys here,
right,
who would be in the rotation on any team, which is like way different than like, I don't know, my favorite team. So it's like there's a lot of talent here. And so, they're a confusing team, but not for this exercise. You say butter. I say butter. By the way, we asked our Patreon supporters. They filled out their survey. 80% said, yes, this team is butter. So that I don't
like Anthony Davis coming in 15 pounds heavy.
He had one of the best explanations that I mean, maybe I'm gullible. I normally don't accept anything anyone says on media day, but he's like, I lose weight really easily. I always come in over. And if I didn't, I'd be too skinny by the end of the year. Maybe he's feeding me a line.
I think he's been too heavy is actually one of the issues.
All right.
But he's not the 5, right?
Yeah. Well, that goes to the issue. There's so many 5s. All right. Unanimous butter for the Dallas Mavericks. Next up, the Denver Nuggets. Dave.
Easy one.
It is so easy. I could not love an offseason more. Sometimes I feel like teams are doing things just to make me happy. And
Cam Johnson.
I guess it's fine when it's like my second favorite team of the last 6-7 years that my side piece I've always been cheering for since Jokic first popped up coming off the bench. Moving off of Michael Porter Jr. to get Cam Johnson, I adore. I love Cam Johnson, the basketball player. I think the fit is even better. I mean, maybe they'll miss some of the rebounding that Michael Porter Jr. provided, but like Cam Johnson, I think is a better player, a better fit. They also, by the way, turned a useless Dario Saric into Jonas Valanciunas. They also added a little bit of depth. They brought back Bruce Brown on the minimum. I mean, maybe he's washed based off preseason, but like, he got paid in Indiana. Now he's like, yeah, I'll take a minimum. I'll come back. You got just a little bit of depth, like Tim Hardaway Jr. Like, like you said, easy butter.
Easy.
Yeah. Our listeners, they're not going to mess around. 94%. I mean, a couple of holdouts, but 94%.
94%? Well, who's the other 6?
I think it was Jonte Porter was the holdout vote. Jonte Porter says no, they're not going to be able to get over. I mean, like, yeah, they only lost Michael Porter Jr. They lost Dario Saric. I mean, also, like, maybe Peyton Watson gets a little bit better. I don't know.
Maybe. Doesn't matter.
Maybe maybe they're baking in the Christian Brown drop off once he signs an extension. Maybe he loses that hunger.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's baked in. Maybe actually Jokic has been playing in the first preseason games. I thought he looked a little heavy. My wife thought he looked a little skinny. Where do you come down?
See, I thought he looked a little heavy in Eurobasket.
Yeah, okay.
But it's Jokic. We'll see what happens.
I didn't know if it was the beard face. Is that a little beard? Maybe, yeah.
Could be.
All
Maybe
right.
It's giving him like a little bit of a moon face. Is that
we've got 2 straight unanimous butters. We're already veering away from the Eastern Conference. Next up alphabetically, the Golden State Warriors. I mean, they added Al Horford. Yeah. And basically he's going to take the Kevon Looney role or probably thrust into the starting lineup. Beyond that, they're kind of the exact same team.
D'Anthony Melton's back.
He's not ready. I am thrilled. A 2-year deal for my guy Melton. Very excited about that. They did finally bring in Jonathan Kuminga. What did you think of the Kuminga deal? Of them finally settling after all this time?
Yeah.
All right, 2 years, $48 million. Okay. Cool.
I mean, it's not even real 2 years.
Or 46 or something. Yeah.
It's almost like a fake qualifying offer.
Right.
Only and like a better, more tradable deal. And so my assumption is that this was hey, let's just get over this hump and we'll get you somewhere else during the season.
But also they can't trade him for forever. So is that not just going to be weird?
I guess, but everyone's talked about like Kuminga and how important he is to this team. I guess, but he can't play with Draymond and Jimmy Butler at the same time. So what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like if the guy can't play with 2 of your, 3 best players, he's just not in the cards for your team. It just doesn't make much sense.
Also, you know how sometimes we say like, oh, internal development, this very young team, if half of the young players get any better, they're butter. This is like one of the squads where we can say, this is the oldest team ever assembled.
Yeah.
/ maybe the Clippers are. But it's like those 2 teams are so incredibly ancient, or it's like, yeah, what if Draymond stinks? Right. What if Steph is not amazing? What if Al Horford is just too old? What if Jimmy Butler plays 44 games? And like, what if Jimmy Butler stops getting to the free throw line? This team could be much worse. So like, is the difference between Al Horford, Kevon Looney to Al Horford, does that overcome the aging curve? The unrestricted free agent to be Steve Kerr season, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Do we get contract year Kerr?
I don't think so. I don't think the Steve Kerr thing is an issue.
I lean Parkay. I lean just the overall weirdness. Like, are you going to get more out of Kuminga this year after everything you did? I don't know. I think the overall aging of every single player on the roster,
including Steph.
I don't think bringing in however old he is, 37-year-old Al Horford, is going to be enough to beat Father Time. I lean Parkay.
Al Horford is going to turn 40.
Wait, did I underestimated his age by 40 almost 3 years? Oh man,
39. Yeah. Yeah, he is up there.
Listen, he's not going to turn 40 until the finals. He'll be fine.
Right. When the Warriors are in
when
the
the
finals,
Warriors are in the finals, he'll be all right.
Yeah. I think that their Parkay, just based on the aging curve, they did not add enough.
If
like the difference between Looney and Horford, and Looney had a huge drop off the last couple of years, right? But the difference between Looney and Horford is, I think, substantial, especially because the way Horford will fit with Steph, and Jimmy Butler, just the ability to shoot threes. But do you really want to be in a world where I need 39-year-old Al Horford to give me 30 minutes a night,
yeah,
25 minutes a night at the five? I mean, because they keep saying Draymond can't do it all the time, which at some point he's going to be too old to do it.
Theoretically, Al Horford, awesome piece for this team. However, we pointed out some of the aging things, but I was just thinking, Melton is supposed to be back in a couple months.
Sure.
And they didn't have him last year, so I think we can actually count him as an addition. I'm switching my vote just for Melton. All right. So you go Parkay. I'm going to split it butter. The listeners, 58% said Parkay. They said worse. By the way, Pat Spencer's on this team. He had this quote about making squads. He said, Pat Spencer says, if you're a guy who can connect the dots, do some other things, knock the three down, there's always going to be a place for you in the NBA. There's a lot of organizations that are stuck in the bottom that continue to value length and athleticism over IQ. They tend to stay in the lottery every year. A lot of people are lauding this quote. They're like, oh yeah, get him, Pat. I'm a little bit tickled by this quote because it's like Pat Spencer is barely in the NBA. Like, it's like he's just hanging on. And is he going to get a job on another team? I know his brother, Cam Spencer, also a guaranteed deal. But like, I don't know, man.
There is a spot.
It's a good idea, but also like, sometimes you can't teach length and athleticism and you hope to get the basketball IQ there. And there's also a lot of really good teams who have just mainly valued length and athleticism. So like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like it sounds good.
Yeah.
But also like Pat Spencer.
Well, you know why it sounds good, Keith.
What do you mean?
I mean, let's be honest. We know why it sounds good. Everybody loves coach's son stuff, right?
Oh yeah, it's like the dream. If you play the right way, you can make it. Yep. Yeah, it's part of the dream of like, oh, if I just my rugged individualism could succeed.
Yeah. But there is a place, Keith.
Yeah.
For guys who don't have the length and athleticism, but know the game and can knock down the corner three or whatever. It's called the bench. Right?
I was saying, is it called coaching high school?
I was going to say, you go from the end of the bench to coaching on the bench.
Coaching middle school? Yeah.
That's the way it goes. So, I believe the Spencer brothers will be coaches before the next election.
All right, here we go.
Which could be whatever.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Little politics joke in there, Dave. All right, so Warriors, I'll say slightly Parkay or slightly butter.
Parkay.
You're Parkay. We're split.
D'Anthony Melton, was that an ACL?
It was a knee. Yeah, I think it was an ACL.
Yeah.
So he's still a couple months.
He's not going to be good until next year.
And he's obviously had tons of injury issues over the past few seasons. All right, next up, the Houston Rockets. This is a fun one because initially everyone's like, oh my goodness, they got Kevin Durant. They're going to compete for the Western Conference crown, or at the very least, they're in the outer ring chasing the Thunder. But now Fred VanVleet's gone. So now what you have with this Rockets team is you added Kevin Durant, but you lost Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, and Dylan Brooks. So what do you say? Does that make the butter or Parkay?
Kevin Durant's injury issues are very concerning to me. And, this idea that he's going to Houston and immediately making them a championship contender, I think is getting the cart before the horse. Like Houston having a very good regular season last year had a lot to do with Dylan Brooks. Mm-hmm. A lot to do with Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet, by the way. Those guys play a lot. Dylan Brooks especially plays like every game, plays hard. Kevin Durant, let's see. What did he play? How many games did he play last season? I don't have that number in
He
front of me.
played a
Do you
pretty
have that?
good amount.
He did okay last year.
Yeah.
He played 62 games last year.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So let's just say he's going to play 65 games. All right. Let's give him a great healthy season. So 65 games. Is that 17 games? Like, are they going to have enough shooting to win? Like, what do they go in those games, right? Like, they lose a lot of those games, especially without Van Vliet. And in those other games, where is the organization coming from without Van Vliet? Yeah. And then outside of Amen Thompson, who else is defending?
I mean, you got Tari Eason, obviously. I think Jabari Smith's fine defender. But
who's playing the majority of those minutes?
Yeah. I will say, outside of an unbelievable leap from Amen Thompson or even Tari Eason or Reed Shepherd, of course, to me, the Kevin Durant swap for Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, and Jalen Green is just, that's at best, that's a lateral move. And so for me, a tie goes to not better. If you're not butter, you're Parkay. So yeah, this for me now with the injury, they become a Parkay team.
Where are you before the injury? Because like, this is actually where I've differed from everybody else since this trade went down. I don't feel like Houston doesn't seem scary to me come playoff time.
I thought I had a better feeling for them after the Durant trade for the playoffs than the regular season, actually. I mean, maybe the regular season defense and rebounding would have been enough for them to match what they did last year. But I was like, all right, now it's no longer Fred VanVleet moonballs as the shot clock runs down. You got Kevin Durant there, and that should help. So I was like, I think they're going to be better in the postseason, but I'm not convinced they're going to be a better regular season team. But then after the Fred VanVleet injury, I'm now like, no, you lost all the guys who shot outside of the paint, essentially. And I don't know if Kevin Durant's going to fill that up. So yeah, so Parkay for me sounds like you're a Parkay. Now I got to find where I put that listener responses.
I mean, they were also the 2 seed last year. Let's not forget.
Right. And again, we're not getting carried away with wins. This is not a win more games exercise. The theoretical, would last year's team lose to this year's team? I'm not convinced. I think this is the vote where this vote came in after the Fred VanVleet injury. Our Patreon supporters vehemently disagree. 84% said the Rockets are better this season. That is it's Dylan Brooks erasure. They're going to see. No, here we go. Next team in the Western Conference. We get to go out to the other old team. We'll do the LA Clippers first among the LA teams. The LA Clippers, I don't even know how you're supposed to judge everything that's going on there. Are there any ramifications, effects of the aspiration controversy? Will there be any fallout? I need to know this for my fantasy basketball keeper league. Do I keep Kawhi Leonard? Is he going to get suspended or dropped or something?
Let's do the most likely outcome, which is nothing.
Okay. So the Clippers, very notably, they got rid of Norman Powell, who was great for them last year. But to replace that, and also to replace Amir Coffey, who I think was a useful rotation guy.
Yeah.
To replace those players, you got Bradley Beal coming in. You got John Collins. You have Brook Lopez. You have Chris Paul. That's a lot of new. I was going to say new blood. It's old blood. It's new old blood coming in. I mean, Brook Lopez is a bench guy just to block a couple shots, hit a couple threes. Seems all right. John Collins, that's a more dynamic addition to what they have.
Yeah. That changes the way they play.
It makes the team very large.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal, he is not totally healthy yet right now, but he's penciled, or I think Ty Lue's already said he is the starter. So yeah, I mean, does Bradley Beal, John Collins, Brook Lopez, Chris Paul, that makes up for the loss of near all-star Norm Powell?
Yeah, I think so. They're butter. Yeah. This team, I actually like what they did.
Yeah.
And they still have Bogdanovich, so they have a player they can move
Yep.
if he doesn't fit in. He wasn't exactly perfect with them last year. Although it's tough because you're playing with these guys that just dribble all the air out of the ball. But yeah, they're better, way better. One of the big problems was when Zubac came off the floor, they fell apart. I think Brook will help with that. John Collins can play the five too, right? So they can, they can still play big. And then their double big stuff that they want to get into, like they saw Aaron Gordon as the reason why they lost that series against the Nuggets, right? Like his timely rebounding, not just that putback, but he was just like destroying them. And now they've got someone that can match up with them size wise and physicality wise, and so I think yeah, butter.
How do we judge the potential for a Kawhi Leonard Pablo Torre revenge tour, where Kawhi Leonard has one of the best complete seasons of his career? Is that
plays 82 games?
Yeah. Is that more likely, or is he like going to play? Night. Is he going to play 30 games now that aspiration is totally underwater and people are sniffing around at all the charities that Ballmer gives money to and how many payments are close to? I mean, at the very least, if you're Ballmer, you got to start doing like payments that are less than 1.75 million. I feel like, at the very least, you got to find a new number.
It's just funny.
It's
insane.
I mean, a year older Kawhi doesn't feel like a great recipe. And I mean, Chris Paul, speaking of playing all 82, what does he have in his 40s in the return to Lob City? Eileen Butter, our listeners do not. It's a very close vote, though. They said 53% of them said Parkay. So a very close vote. And that's how I feel. I mean, it isn't obvious in my mind, but you and I both say a little bit Butter. Listeners say a little bit Parkay. They're rivals in the city, the Los Angeles Lakers. I didn't have any issue with this one, actually. I had no level of confusion in my mind.
Nope.
They lost Dorian Finney-Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Goodwin played hard for him. They got rid of him. They brought in DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, and Marcus Smart.
Butter.
I think that's butter.
Butter. DeAndre Ayton is good, by the way. I mean, like he's not top 5 center in the league, but like he's skilled. He can play. He can rebound.
He, of course, is famously low motor. He is not known for maybe his locker room energy, team chemistry. I think there's going to be Portland fans being like, we're better because he's gone, which I can imagine that. But he does seem to fit a need. And now that we found out Dorian Finney-Smith is not totally healthy, that even makes it easier where like I was already thinking that LaRavia and Marcus Smart, if those guys can combine to maybe one be available for all 82 games, like that seems pretty good. I feel pretty solid about the Lakers team as far as their depth. I think the build around Luka is maybe awkward as far as where are the shooters and who's going to space the court, but like also kind of similar to the Mavericks. There's just a lot of guys who you feel okay playing with. Like Dalton Connect has been like demoted to like third string. Like he's not going to play, I don't think normally. So like, I think they are actually, I would go butter. And our listeners also 2/3 of them, a straight 2/3 said butter. So the Los Angeles Lakers, we're all saying butter.
I'm banking a little bit on the Luka and LeBron being psychopaths, bringing Ayton up a notch.
I don't. And I understand that narrative, but I don't know if I get it. Like, is Ayton, I mean, you could say his best season was with Chris Paul and having that psychopath leader energy. Yeah, I don't know. Does Luka bring that out of people? Is Luka gonna bring him up to his level? I mean, at the very least,
centers have played really well with Luka. Like
at the very least, the guy can catch lobs and he can hit a 15-footer. And it seems like, just don't be a sucking black hole on defense.
Right.
Or black hole on offense. Just maybe if the shot's not there, kick it back out. That's been a problem in his career. But I definitely lean butter. So that's a unanimous butter. You, me, and the listeners. Let's hit my team, the Memphis Grizzlies. They very famously traded Desmond Bane.
Yes.
They got back Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. They signed Ty Jerome and Jock Landale. Also, of course, got rid of Jay Huff. Don't need a him and haw here.
No.
This team is worse.
Yep. That's Parkay.
If you want more Grizzlies analysis, I guess go listen to Grits and Grinds. I don't feel like talking about it. It's like,
listen, anytime, Keith, you could trade a very good and useful player, not just good and useful, actually, like your third best player, for a bevy of future potential players, right? You got to do it. I mean, how much of this, Keith, do you think is driven by the top of the West is just much better than Memphis, and they're like, okay, we're gonna have to reshuffle.
It of course is driven by that. I think it's thinking there's nothing we can do to catch up with the Thunder. Here's where I get real sad. I think this year, and as I do this butter or Parkay exercise, and I look at every team, there are so many squads where I'm like, man, I don't know what they're doing. They could be good. They could be terrible. And even teams we've gone over already where I'm like the Mavericks, where it's like, they're not title contenders. I don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs, but they have some guys and maybe they could. There are so many teams out there. I've even started putting together like my personal power rankings. And when I start listing off teams and I'm like, wait, are the Timberwolves like the 5th best team in the NBA? And that's no shade at Minnesota, who's made consecutive conference finals. That's amazing. Right. But I look at the Timberwolves roster and I'm like, I don't feel like they were that much better than the Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr. Grizzlies. They're like, I feel like you could have gotten there. So this feels like a season with the Halliburton injuries, with the Tatum injury. There's just these huge injuries where it's like the league, there's 4 teams. I think everyone accepts. It's like the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Cavs, and the Knicks. And even when I get to the Cavs and Knicks, I'm like, no one's scared of those teams.
Nope.
So I'm looking at like, all right, there are 2 teams that most people feel like the league is chasing. Why wouldn't you go for it in a season where there's 2 teams that are awesome? The Orlando Magic said, wait a minute. The East is wide open. We have good players. Let's go for it. And then you're the Grizzlies. You're like, well, yeah, but how can you turn down that deal? And it's like, well, I don't know. You've won 5 playoff series in the history of your franchise. And you currently have one of the 8 or 9 best players in your franchise's history on the roster. And he's a shooting guard who fits on literally every roster in the NBA. And you're like, let's trade him for picks. Hard to get excited about it. So, Parkay, Dave. I'm Parkay.
A Memphis Grizzlies podcast.
Anyways, let's take a quick break and we'll come back and do the rest of the teams. All right, Dave. I didn't even tell the listeners that our Patreon supporters, 90% of them said the Grizzlies got worse. And that shows the makeup of our Patreon supporters. There are so many Grizzlies fans in there that 10% of them said they got better. All right, the Pelicans. What do you even do here?
Oh my God! Honestly,
I mean,
I want to believe that
we're not looking at the record. So, like, okay, they traded CJ McCollum for Jordan Poole.
That could be an upgrade.
Sadiq Bey is here. Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk left. Although, I mean, like, no one remembers anything they did on the Pelicans. Yeah, I mean, they drafted a couple guys. You got Fears in there.
They drafted a center right after drafting a center.
Yeah. By the way, we're not doing an awards segment of the show, but I could acknowledge, do a little International Stackhouse of Pancakes acknowledgement of some of the rookies putting up shots in preseason so far. Fears right now is 8 for 25 after 2 preseason games. Also, VJ Edgecombe 7 for 22. That's a smooth 32% for both of those guys. By the way, Cedric Coward was 0 for 7 in his one preseason game. So there's a little thank you to the rookies who are whetting my appetite for the upcoming Jacques Watch as the season begins in a couple of weeks. So Pelicans, I lead butter because why not?
Yeah. I think that adding Kevon Looney is good. I really want to believe that skinny Zion is going to stay healthy and it's real.
I mean, maybe Derek Queen contributes. They traded so much for him.
No. Let's be realistic here. No.
I'm not saying they're going to have the same record they had last year, but I'm also not convinced they're any better. So it's like, I don't know why they lost so many games last year. Like they dropped like 25 wins from the previous season.
Yeah.
Obviously there's injuries and obviously Zion's lack of availability, Brandon Ingram's lack of availability over the years. I guess I'll go butter too. The listeners, they don't care. 60%. I'm guessing they don't care without a lack of a clear majority.
I lean toward they also have some coaching issues, but also I don't know how the hell you coach that team. So I will give coaching a pass. Like how do you coach a team that no one's ever available?
Yeah. The Thunder added nobody.
Yeah.
They drafted some guys. And even Topic is out with a testicle thing.
Yeah.
It's the actual news. So, I mean, you think Topic is going to, they were historically great last year. For our purposes, they're Parkay. I don't think they got better.
Yeah.
It's hard to get better when you're like the best team ever.
I would say Chet's probably going to be better this season. Jalen Williams is probably going to be better this season.
Good
There's
argument.
no reason to think Shea might not even be better this season. They're going to have a healthier season, I would guess. Remember, Hartenstein and Chet both missed significant time last year. Yeah. I actually, what's funny, I've got a take on them. I'll give half of it right now. I think they could win 70 games this year.
Oh, they could. But also we haven't had a team repeat in the past 8 seasons. For this though, I'm going to vote Parkay. Do you want to vote butter or Parkay? We're pretending they're healthy last year. Yeah, that's when we're comparing. So it's like,
all right, then it's Parkay because if you don't improve, it's a tie.
It's a tie. Tie goes to Parkay. We're still all scared of you, but the listeners 80% said Parkay. They understood the assignment.
As long as we're all in alignment on the thinking.
Phoenix Suns lost Kevin Durant because he didn't fit with what they were doing, according to Matt HPA. Bradley Beal's gone. Tyus Jones is gone. Dylan Brooks is here. Jalen Green is here. They drafted Malawach. They traded for Mark Williams. This is Parkay. But not to confuse you, I think they win more games. But I think talent. No. It's. I'm going out on a limb there. People think this team's going to be awful. But I think the talent in and out. Yeah, it's a Parkay.
It's Parkay.
Yeah. The listeners, they agree. They said 87%. This team's Parkay. Next up, the Trailblazers. Dave, there is Trailblazers optimism. I think based on just how hard they played last year, how hard they defended last year. Their offseason, they got rid of Anthony Simons. They got rid of DeAndre Ayton, addition by subtraction. They bring in Drew Holiday in that Anthony Simons trade. Damian Lillard is here for vibes. And that's about it.
Whoa, hang on.
Oh, Hanson Young?
Hanson Young.
Or Young Hanson, excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's going to do nothing this season. So I hate to break it to everyone. This one's hard for me because I consider myself to be one of those people who thinks Tumani Kamara is amazing. I feel like he should have won most improved player because I like the guys who go from no one cared about him to becoming like every team wants them. And despite that, I'm not sure. I don't see the path necessarily of them getting a lot better than how they were at the end of the year. And so by the rules of my game, that makes me lean Parkay. But what do you think?
I think I probably have them at Parkay because they didn't improve, in my opinion. Like Drew Holiday is pretty much washed.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like if they all are healthy and playing, which is what we're supposed to be thinking about, they're going to be pretty good, I think. But Drew can't really create anymore.
Yeah.
Scoot Henderson's hurt, but he's going to come back in like a month, so he should be all right. If Scoot's pretty good, and then Shaden Sharp gives you a solid season, and then you have Abdia and Kumara and Jeremy Grant, that's a problem for Chauncey Billups to figure out who's starting. Even
think Abdia's got another leap in him?
I mean, no, because he was good. I don't mean that.
Right.
I'm not casting aspersions. He was really good last year. If he's even better, well, sure, they're great. I mean, Klingon, that's an easy way to improve. So, like, I understand the enthusiasm. I honestly probably buy in a little bit to the enthusiasm. This is a team I like watching play.
Yeah.
But also, I'm like, I don't know if you're actually any better. Because, like, they were solid-ish. I mean, I can't remember what it was. I want to say they were 500 over the last 50 games of the season. And I don't think they're going to be 500 this year. So,
they didn't add enough talent for me to say butter. And if we're not going to give the Thunder the ability to see some improvement from last year to this year, I'm not going to give that to the Blazers. So I'm going to say Parkay.
So, but I can tell the Patreon supporters feeling that enthusiasm. 87% say butter. And I hear you.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm confused on it. The Sacramento Kings, baby, what is you doing? The Kings traded Jonas Valanciunas for Dario Saric. They signed Dennis Schroeder. Jake LaRavia left. I mean, there's an argument to be made. They didn't get worse, I guess, because you got Schroeder, but no, you're not better. Yeah, you're not better.
No, they got worse. They got worse.
Parkay.
What
are you doing, Sacramento Kings? You were once a proud franchise.
No, they were for one season.
No, I'm saying Chris Webb. I'm going back to Chris Webber.
Okay.
I'm going back to the Maloofs.
Thought you meant recent history.
94% of our respondents said no. The Kings are Parkay. All right. Couple teams left. The Spurs and the Jazz. The Spurs, what did they do this offseason, Dave? Because they already traded for De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
They get Luke Cornett. Are we drinking the Luke Cornett Kool-Aid?
Actually, French vanilla is what they're calling that Twin Towers lineup. I'm into that.
They lost your guy, Mamokilishvili.
They did, and that may hurt him a little bit, but I think Cornett fits really, really well next to Wemby, which is interesting. And then they had a good draft. I mean, they drafted Dylan Harper, and they got Carter Bryant. And now, whether Carter Bryant is a player at all this year, if he is, it's only going to be for defense here and there. But Dylan Harper's interesting to me.
Yeah.
They got a lot of young guards now. They're going to have to figure that out. But I don't know. They get Wemby back. Does that count for anything?
For me, it doesn't really count. Obviously, if we're including Wemby as an addition, okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm saying he played last year, and yes, he didn't finish the year available and healthy. For me, it's all Wemby.
Yeah.
I think De'Aaron Fox is not going to be better than he was
on the team
2 or 3 years ago.
The end of the season.
Well, yeah. And like, he already is not ready for the start of the season. They did trim the fat a little bit. They got rid of some of the chaff with Malachi Branham gone, Blake Wesley gone.
Yeah.
Also, Chris Paul was on this team last year, played a big role, and he's gone.
Right.
Is Keldon Johnson or Devin Vassell going to do better this year? I guess they're hoping they are. They want, Stephen Castle. There's the improvement you hope for, but like, it's a weird I don't know. I guess year 3 Wemby is enough where I'm like, okay, fine. I'll give you butter, but this is a very questionable team where I don't get. So like, I think just on Wemby alone, I'm like, okay, good.
Then it needs to be Parkay. Because by the rule, if we're not giving, you know what I mean?
Again, there are some, no, there's not, it's not hard and fast. We can improve.
Okay.
I think we can accept internal improvements.
With Wemby,
and I do think Wemby alone.
Okay.
I'm going to say, all right, fine. And then maybe Dylan Harper contributes more than.
I don't think Dylan Harper contributes much this year. Right.
Yeah.
But it's just another body that they've got. I do think the Wemby, they're going to win more games.
Yeah.
Did they get a ton better on paper? Not this season.
Yep.
Although I do like Cornette.
All
so
right.
I'm kind of in the middle there.
Yeah.
I want to give it to him for Wemby, but then I also kind of wanted to give it to the Thunder. You know what I mean? It's tough.
You could do it. No one's stopping you.
Yeah, I know, but.
All right.
So I'm going Parkay, actually.
I mean,
I'm just going to say I don't think they improved.
And our listeners, this is the biggest one yet. 97% butter. Which I get it, but there's just not a ton of player movement. There's not a ton of talent coming in based on where they finished the year last year. I mean, maybe Mitch Johnson's going to install all of his really cool schemes. Got a lot of sets.
He had nothing for Fox. He had nothing for Fox last season when he got there. Nothing. Yeah. They had nothing. So anything that he does with Fox will be an improvement.
All right. The Utah Jazz, just can we send them to the NBA Europe League that Silver's kicking off?
What's funny is I might give them butter based on a rookie, which I would never do normally. But
which one?
Because they got some talent. They actually added some talent. I mean, it's just, we had this conversation a lot last season. Who's the best young player on the Utah Jazz? Who's somebody that you get excited about?
I mean, does Walker Kessler not count?
Right. Well, I mean, for me, it's Bryce Sensabaugh because he can get you a bucket.
Yeah.
But he's not playing. So I would say just getting Ace Bailey.
But also this team lost Colin Sexton, John Collins, and Jordan Clarkson.
You're not excited about Kevin Love?
If you told
Jazz
me,
man,
are Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson going to be in the rotation? Is the return of Georges Niang going to boost them? I mean, this is a team where you're like, okay, you look at the front court, you say Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler. Oh, you got a stew there. You got something cooking. But the rest of it
is,
not
great.
I was trying to do the depth chart on that one, and it just doesn't. I mean, I feel like you have young guards who maybe aren't good, fighting for playing time, like Isaiah Collier, Walter Clayton Jr., Keontae George. I mean, our guy Bryce Sensabaugh, all of those guys. It's that's not, you're gonna win basketball games with those guys playing all your minutes.
Yeah,
and then
definitely not.
You look at the small forward, and it's Ace Bailey and Cody Williams, and Cody needs to take a huge leap to be playable. And if Ace Bailey's not good as a rookie, we're not talking about maybe the worst collection of 1, 2s, and 3s in the NBA. I'm not saying maybe Isaiah Collier pops. Maybe Keontae George has shown stuff.
Sure.
But also he's shown stuff on awful basketball teams.
Right.
So I don't know.
And also the stuff he's showing is not good. It's mostly not good.
I want to know, Filipowski. I mean, he's going to play. He's playing over Nurkic and Love, right? I mean, Filipowski was lighting up Summer League.
He has to play over those guys. If you're not going to develop, I don't know what the point of having all those old guys are, outside of trading them away for more bites at the apple. I just don't know. You can't not play your young guys. They're going to be bad again. And again, you're going to be seeing a lot of Lauri Markkanen fake trades.
With everyone not being willing to pay luxury tax or go to the second apron even, it becomes so hard for these even a $40 million contract, let alone a Devin Booker $70 million contract, where it's people don't trade anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully someone's going to trade for the Kuminga 23 or whatever it turns out to be the exact number is. Yeah, I'm a Parkay on the Jazz, and they were an abomination last season. John Collins and Colin Sexton are better than the players they have. And maybe not in a team building sense, but in a vacuum win a single basketball game today in the year 2025, I'm almost certain they're better than everybody you still have there. So
17-win team last year, Keith.
I don't look at the wins. I'm not worried about the wins.
I'm just saying.
They shut down Walker Kessler and then didn't give him an extension. They're like, hey, buddy, why don't you maybe not play? We're trying to go draft somebody. He's like, cool, take care of me. They didn't take care of him. I mean, I think
I'm going to go Parkay with them.
Good. Yeah,
I think you got me.
I don't think you're going out on a limb here.
I think you got me.
The listeners say,
I do like that they picked up Ace Bailey. I mean, it's a good pickup.
Yeah.
Finally,
I mean,
they got some talent in there.
You have some excitement. Listeners 87% say no, this team is worse. Parkay, impressive. All right, so to wrap it up, we were unanimous butter on the Mavericks, unanimous butter on the Nuggets. We were split on the Warriors. You and I both thought Parkay because of age. Listeners were like, no, butter. The Rockets, you and I, did I get that wrong? You and I said Parkay. Listeners said butter. Clippers, you and I said butter. Listeners said Parkay. Lakers, unanimous butter. Grizzlies, unanimous Parkay. Timberwolves. Did we skip the Timberwolves?
We did skip the Timberwolves.
Oh, wow. Real quick. They lost Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
They got Bones Highland.
Bones Highland?
Like, how much do you believe in Jaden McDaniels growing or Terrence Shannon Jr. becoming a rotation player? Or
does Terrence Shannon honestly, and Rob Dillingham make up for losing Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Mike Conley aging another year? I would go no.
Possibly.
This is a Parkay. This is a Parkay for me.
Yeah, I think that's safe.
And Parkay. Still probably the 5th or 6th best team in the NBA. Yeah, the listeners said 77% said no. All right, so that's a unanimous Parkay on the Timberwolves, a very confusing on the Pelicans. Then we got the Thunder, unanimous Parkay. The Suns, unanimous Parkay. The Trailblazers, you and I both said Parkay. Listeners, overwhelming butter. Kings, unanimous Parkay. Spurs, you and I said no. The listeners love them. Butter. Then the Jazz, we said, get out of here. You're worse. Disgusting. And we did it, Dave. Great work. I know you got to run to your next appearance, but thanks for all your work today. Listeners, if you want to play in the fantasy basketball leagues, make sure you go sign up. I want to get you guys all in there, and I want to get 50 people in the iShop Negative Fantasy League. Do that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. All right. You guys are the best. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Yeah, never apologize for being G&G. Fast break, man. You understand? I will remember.